Let me tell y'all something right out the gate. Your mind is a muscle, and just like any other muscle in your body, if you don't work it out, it gets weak, flabby, lazy. See, some of y'all got six packs in the gym, but noodles in your head. You got all the muscle in your arms, but your mindset, soft like a pillow. Now listen, I ain't here to judge. I'm here to tell you the truth, because the truth will set you free. But first, it's going to slap you around a little bit. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you fed your mind something good? I ain't talking about Instagram quotes and TikToks with low 5 beats and somebody whispering about good vibes only. I'm talking real food, mental nutrition, reading a book, listening to a podcast that challenges you, surrounding yourself with people who force you to think bigger, dream wider, and act stronger. Your mind is the control center of your whole life. You wake up every day and you get to choose what you feed it, but you keep giving it junk and then wondering why your life feeling sluggish. That's like eating potato chips for breakfast and then being shocked your energy's low. Come on now. See, I tell you what I do. I wake up in the morning and before I grab that phone, before I look at the news, I grab my peace. I feed my mind faith. I say thank you. I get still. I get focused, because if I don't train my mind before the world gets to it, then the world's going to train it for me. And the world don't always train with love and positivity. Sometimes it trains with fear, with worry, with lack. Y'all ever try to go to the gym and just look at the equipment, stand there and admire the weights, maybe take a few selfies? That don't do nothing. You got to put in reps. You got to get uncomfortable. And the same thing goes for your mind. You want to grow, you got to think different. You got to challenge your old thoughts. Push past your limits. Tell your inner critic to shut up and sit down. And hear me, this ain't just about getting smarter. This is about getting stronger, mentally strong. Because life is going to throw some heavy stuff at you. You're going to get hit. Setbacks, betrayals, losses, they coming. That ain't negative, that's just life. But if your mind is trained, if it's been worked out, you might bend, but you ain't gonna break. See, when you train your mind, you don't panic when trouble shows up. You don't crumble when things go wrong. You look that problem in the eye and say, you must not know who you messing with. That's mental strength. That's discipline. That's power. And look, this don't happen overnight. You don't do one mental push-up and suddenly you Tony Robbins. Nah, it's daily work. You got to stay committed, stay focused, even when you're tired, even when ain't nobody clapping for you, even when it feels like nothing is changing. Keep going, keep building, keep training, because one day life going to knock on your door and say, it's your time. And when it does, you want to be ready, not just in your body, not just in your bank account, but in your mind. Train it daily, or life going to train it for you. And life don't always play fair. Let me tell y'all something real quick. Your life is not a coincidence. It's a mirror of what you think. You can't live a positive life with a negative mind. That math don't math. And I don't care how motivated you want to be, how many vision boards you make, how many quotes you save on your phone. If your thoughts ain't right, your life ain't going to be right. Period. Now, see, a lot of people out here think success starts with money. Nah. Success don't start with no paycheck. It starts with your mindset. You got to start protecting what goes on up here. You hear me? You wouldn't let somebody walk in your house with muddy shoes, wipe their feet on your couch, eat your food, leave the door open and walk out like they own the place, would you? So why are you letting people do that to your mind? People come in, drop off their negativity, unload all their problems, all their doubt, all their gossip, and then leave. And now you sitting there stressed out, mad, drained, over something that wasn't even your battle to fight in the first place. You got to set some boundaries. Stop letting everybody drop trash in your mental driveway. See, your thoughts, they powerful. They real powerful. Thoughts become things. You think long enough on the wrong stuff, you're going to start speaking it. You speak it long enough, you're going to start walking it. And once you walk it, that's your life. That's your reality. That's the script you living out every day. You keep telling yourself you ain't good enough, guess what? You ain't going to even try. You keep saying, I always get played. You're going to stop trusting people. You keep thinking you ain't meant for more money, more peace, more joy, then more never shows up. Why? Because you already told it not to. You trained your mind to reject what God trying to deliver. And look, I'm going to be real with you. We all got negative thoughts. We human. The difference between successful people and everybody else ain't that they never have bad thoughts. It's that they don't entertain them. You can't stop the bird from flying over your head, but you sure don't have to let it build a nest in your head. You got to learn to catch them thoughts and check them. You hear thoughts say you're not smart enough, you need to respond with lies. I'm built for this. When your mind say you always lose, say no, I'm learning, not losing. You got to fight for your peace, fight for your joy, fight for your belief in yourself. And don't think protecting your thoughts just means staying away from haters. No, sometimes the danger is you. Sometimes the voice wrecking your confidence the most is the one that sounds just like you. That's the one you got to retrain. You got to be the coach, not the critic. Talk to yourself like you someone you love, someone you believe in. Because once you start speaking like that, thinking like that, living like that, everything starts to shift. Your relationships change, your habits change, your vision gets clearer, your energy feels lighter, all because you made a decision to start thinking different, to start protecting what goes on in your head like it's precious, because it is. Let me tell you right now, if you train your mind to expect more, believe more, and see more for your life, you're going to start walking into blessings you thought were too big for you. But first, you got to protect the gate. Your mind is the gate. Guard it like your future depends on it, because, baby, it does. You ever just sit there trying to focus, trying to get your life together, and out of nowhere, boom, somebody else's drama pops into your head. You thinking about what they said, how they treated you, what they didn't do, what they might do. Let me tell you something. That ain't just your thoughts running. That's unwanted guests setting up shop in your mental space. And you let them in? Do you even charge rent? Listen, you got to stop letting everybody rent space in your head, especially the folks who ain't paying you in peace, love, or growth. If the only thing they leaving behind is stress, confusion, and second-guessing yourself, baby, it's time to evict them. We walking around tired, unfocused, overwhelmed, and a lot of times, it ain't even our stuff. We carrying the opinions of people who don't even know our heart. We letting folks who gave up on their dreams talk us out of ours. We letting people who don't even like themselves be the voice in our head. How that makes sense? Let me break it down for you. Your mind is prime real estate. It's beachfront property. And you over here letting the wrong people throw wild parties in it like it's a college dorm. Nah, we done with that. You got to get serious about who and what you allow in your mental space. And let's talk about old memories too. Some of y'all letting stuff that happened 5, 10, 15 years ago still live up there rent-free. Exes, bad bosses, childhood mess. I get it. Hurt is real, trauma is real, but healing, that's your responsibility now. You can't change the past, but you can change how long you let it squat in your spirit. You got to learn to clean house. If it ain't uplifting you, motivating you, building you, or loving you, right? You got to go. Not everybody is meant to be in your head, in your heart, or in your future. You got goals to hit. You got peace to protect. And you can't do that with a whole crowd of negativity playing DJ in your brain 24/7. Sometimes you got to look at those thoughts and those people and say, hey, I ain't got room for you no more. I'm doing construction up here. I'm building peace, confidence, vision, clarity, and you don't fit the blueprint. Now, that don't mean you got to be cold. That don't mean you got to be mean. It just means you got to be wise. You got to be intentional, just like you wouldn't leave your car unlocked in the middle of the night with your wallet sitting in the front seat. Don't leave your mind open for anything and everything to jump in. You got to lock the doors, set some boundaries, build a gate, and guess what? You the gatekeeper. Not your mama, not your cousin, not your circle, you. And it's okay to say, this conversation, not healthy for me. Or this thought, nah, we're not entertaining that today. or that person, I forgive them, but I got to love them from way over there. And here's the thing. The clearer your mind gets, the more focused your future becomes. You stop being all over the place. You stop doubting yourself every 5 minutes. You stop going back to situations that drained you. Why? Because you finally got space. You finally got mental peace. And when you got peace up here, everything else starts falling into place. So no more free rent. No more open house tours in your head for every thought or person that walks by. If they ain't painting love, growth, or joy, show them the door. Let me explain something to you right now. Your mouth is powerful, but it don't start there. It starts up here in your mind. Your mouth is just to speak your thoughts. That's the playlist. So if your mind is full of fear, doubt, negativity, that's what your mouth's gonna play on repeat. And what your mouth speaks, baby, that's what your life starts to look like. You ever catch yourself saying stuff like, I can't do this, or I'm just not lucky, or things never work out for me? Yeah, stop that. You got to catch that mess and hit delete before it leaves your lips. Because your words got power. Life and death ain't just in the gun, they in the tongue. Now hear me, if you walk around speaking defeat, don't get mad when your life starts feeling like a battlefield. You speak struggle all day and then wonder why peace don't want to hang around you. You talk broke, you attract broke. You speak fear, and fear gonna show up with a suitcase and move right in. Let me tell you what I do. I speak victory even when I feel tired, even when it look bad, even when I don't see a way. I still say I'm blessed, I'm favored, I'm coming out stronger than I went in. That ain't delusion, that's faith talk. That's trained thinking. And I didn't always have it. I had to work on it. I remember a time I used to say, man, that'll never happen for me. But one day I realized the only thing standing between me and the life I wanted was the words coming out of my own mouth. And those words, they was coming from how I was thinking. I had to reprogram all that mess. I had to stop speaking from where I was and start speaking from where I was going. See, some of y'all speak like your current situation is permanent, like it's a prison sentence. But your words, they can be a parole, they can break you out. You just got to start saying things that match the life you want, not the life you stuck in. Start speaking what you believe, not what you fear. Start saying, I'm capable. Say, I'm ready. Say, doors are opening for me. I don't care if your bank account say $3.17. Say abundance is on the way, speak that. You don't need to lie, you need to speak life. And I know, some of y'all think, well, I'm just being real. Nah, you being limited. You think speaking on your struggle is keeping it real, but all it's really doing is keeping you there. Real is fine, honest is fine. But at some point, you got to stop rehearsing the problem and start speaking the solution. You ever notice how people who always talk about being sick, stay sick? People who always talk about being sick, stay sick? People who always talk about being sick, stay sick? It ain't just coincidence, that's conditioning, that's mental programming. You keep pressing play on the same track, don't expect a new song, so change your thoughts. So your words can change. And when your words change, that's when your actions line up. That's when your energy shift. That's when people start treating you different. Because now you treat yourself different. You carry yourself like someone who believes better is possible. And better always shows up for the people who expect it. Train your thoughts, check your mouth, and then watch your life obey. Let me tell you something that's going to hit some of y'all real deep. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to be. Not talent, not luck, not a hookup. Discipline, and that starts right here in your mind. See, the truth is most people don't fail because they ain't got what it takes. They fail because they quit before it shows up. They get tired, they lose focus, they let life distract them. But let me ask you something. What if the only thing standing between you and the life you've been praying for is a little more mental discipline? You want success, but you don't want to sit down and do the work. You want peace, but you keep letting chaos rent a room in your head. You want to grow, but you don't want to be uncomfortable. Look, you can't wish your way to the top. You got to train your way there every day, not just when you feel like it. Discipline don't care about your feelings. It don't care if you're tired. It don't care if your friend's out partying. Discipline says, I got to go, and I'm not letting anything distract me from it. Discipline will have you up early when everybody else is sleeping. It'll have you saying no when everybody else saying yes. It ain't always sexy, but baby, it works. Let me break it down even more for you. Mental discipline is when you tell your mind what to do instead of letting it run wild like a toddler with a popsicle. You ever try to work and your mind's like, let me scroll for 5 minutes. And next thing you know, it's 2 hours later and you deep in some rabbit hole about UFOs and recipes you ain't even gonna cook. That's a lack of discipline. Mental discipline is when you train your brain to stay locked in. You say, nah, we not doing that right now. We got things to build. We got a purpose to fulfill. That's control. That's power. And if you don't get control over your mind, it'll control you. And it'll always choose comfort over growth. Now, I ain't saying discipline is easy. It's not. But it is simple. You just got to start small and stay consistent. Wake up and feed your mind something positive before the world dumps its mess on. Read that book, write down your vision, meditate, pray, work the plan even when you don't feel like it. That's how you build strength. And look, I know some of y'all say, well, I don't feel motivated. Let me tell you a secret. Discipline is what shows up when motivation goes missing. You ain't always gonna feel like it. But if you train your mind, your habits gonna carry you through the days your feelings try to betray you. You build a strong mind the same way you build a strong body. Reps and sets, one thought at a time, one decision at a time. And over time, you start to notice your patience get longer, your excuses get quieter, your results get louder. Discipline turns dreams into reality. It's not the big flashy stuff. It's the daily grind. The quiet moments, the self-control when nobody's watching. It's saying, I'll show up when your old self would have said, I'll give up. So don't wait for perfect conditions. Don't wait for motivation to knock. Train your mind to be disciplined and watch your whole life level up. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you slowed down long enough to just sit with yourself and think? I mean, really think. Not scroll, not stress, not react. But sit with your own thoughts and say, all right, what's really going on with me? Most folks don't take that time. You know why? Because thinking is hard. Self-reflection is hard. It forces you to face the stuff you've been ignorant. But that time, that space, that silence, that's where the breakthrough starts. See, life will keep you busy. Life will throw distraction after distraction at you. It'll make noise, keep you moving from one thing to the next. But just cause you busy don't mean you building. Just cause you moving don't mean you progressing. Sometimes you got to shut the world out and say, hey, I need a minute to check in with my mind. Because if you check your mind, the world gonna check it for you. Life will tell you what to think. Social media will tell you what to believe. People will hand you their opinions like facts. And next thing you know, you living by a script you didn't even write. That's why taking time for quiet, for focus, for mental clarity, that's non-negotiable. Every day I make time to sit in silence. I talk to God, I talk to myself. I run my thoughts through a filter. Is this thought serving me or is it sabotaging me? And if it ain't serving me, it's gotta go. I don't care how long I've been thinking it. I don't care who planted it in my head. If it's blocking my blessing, I delete it like spam. Y'all don't realize there's power in stillness. You find answers in the silence that noise will never give you. You get direction in the quiet that chaos will never offer. But you got to be intentional about it. Schedule time to just be with your own mind. You don't need a fancy setup. You don't need candles and crystals and waterfalls. You just need to pause, breathe, reflect, listen. Some of y'all run from your thoughts because you're afraid of what's in there. You're afraid of what you might uncover. But let me tell you something. What's hidden will still control you, whether you face it or not. But when you face it, you can change it. When you face it, and it ain't just about fixing what's wrong, it's about remembering what's right. When you get still, you remember who you are. You remember the vision, the purpose, the fire that life tried to blow out. You tap back into that thing that makes you say, you know what? I still got something in me. I still got fight. I still got more left. You got to train your mind to be still in the storm, to be calm when the world is noisy. That's strength, that's peace, that's power. And when you walk in that kind of clarity, you make decisions better. You love yourself deeper. You stop falling for the same old mess. You stop letting everybody else dictate your worth. Mental clarity ain't a luxury, it's a lifeline. In the middle of all the pressure, all the expectations, all the distractions, you owe it to yourself to find space to think, to reset, to breathe. So don't wait for a breakdown to give your mind a break. Don't wait for the world to fall apart before you choose peace. Start now. Train your mind to find stillness and watch how loud your purpose start to speak.